PK and Noble, you mentioned, will Noble be able to remain on top, stay undefeated? They've been looking lights out. And I'm really excited to watch this roster, actually, because I haven't been able to see this roster too much in preseason, right? I don't think they played in any of the E-Days, if I'm not mistaken. They were clearly scrimming and things were working out. I want to see Reptilian, man, coming off that coveted VQ roster. How's Reptilian going to perform here? I expect him to do just fine. But hey, it is going to be a pretty big battle, given the fact that it is, in fact, Pittsburgh Knights, man. And I got to say this, look, Pittsburgh Knights, they have been looking a bit shaky as of recently, Blaze, but they're still a team that keeps the series close. That's the thing about them, much like Rebel 2. The series are always close with these guys on PK.
Yeah, for sure. Hell, you got Monkyz, the best player in our league, okay? Let's just say that, all right? Monkyz, the best player in our league. Dezo, Sumuns, Raver. It's a talented 4v4 roster. We saw it in the first week of Pro League. They look good, right? And I feel like they can get better, and they definitely will by the time we come around here towards our first major. Now, they got a tall task against Noble, and we'll talk about predictions here in a second. But, as far as PK's playstyle versus Noble, it's like sword versus the shield.
Yes.
Is the offense going to be strong enough to break through the defense? Or is the defense going to be strong enough to hold off against that assault of Nashers coming from the boys of PK?
Yeah, I was talking to Tom, our observer, and I was kind of asking him, like, was it Noble that we were talking about being the shield? And I think it is, right? The sword and the shield. I love that saying because it's going to be represented exactly just like that in this series. Let's talk about Monkyz and Gearies, right? The head-to-head. Like you mentioned, Monkyz, one of the best players, if not the best player in the league. Well, Gearies, not far behind, though. I mean, you look at this plus or minus. Like, okay, and just to reiterate, guys, what plus or minus is, that strictly kills to deaths, okay? At this point in time, Monkyz has 46 more kills than he does deaths, and the same thing for Gearies with 32. I mean, that's just outstanding. And you look at the percentage of team kills as well, and the engagement success, these stats are through the roof.
Nah, both these players are playing insane after the first week. Just having a 3.0 KDA. I don't even think we saw a KDA that high last season. And with it being 4v4, that's a beautiful number. 31%, 34% of part of the team kills here. That's over the 25 there. You're doing more than your portion here on the squad. And 75% of the times that these guys get involved in a team fight, their team comes out on top. Beautiful numbers between both these players. But now it's time to see who's going to come out on top. Geary's got a tall task ahead of him, but I'm happy that he is one of the players that is highlighted, because I don't feel like he got enough highlight last season for the work in which he did with his team. But that's the beauty about 4v4, man. You get the fifth guy out, we get to see a lot of the accomplishments that the players are doing here on the squad here. They're not getting overshadowed with a lot of the chaos and stuff that's happening on the map. And we get to really see the individual skill of every player on the map.
It's kind of like putting a magnifying glass on you, right? I mean, it could go the opposite way too. We could be looking at you in a negative way because you're just not popping off and you're not playing well. You're not winning those engagements. You're isolating yourself. But on the opposite end, whether it be Monkyz or Gearies, we get a chance to really hone in and watch them play. That PK matchup versus Rated R last week was fantastic. Monkyz went absolutely Super Saiyan. He was winning every engagement, every fight. A 3+ KDA for these guys, like, that is literally unheard of. Like you said, no one had that in the last split. Let's go ahead and take a look at our pick and ban, see what maps we're rolling with. Is Vaskar in there? It's not. I would have loved to watch Vaskar between these two, but we get a little bit of Foundation, we get Harbor, and we get Training Grounds.
Yes, we will. So, great cycle here. Noble not wanting to have to deal with PK on Vaskar. I consider Noble a team that can play this map, but rightfully so. But on the flip end, PK don't want to deal with Exhibit, a map which I think that they could be really talented on. But on the flip end, Exhibit, that has a lot of those secondary weapons. I don't think it's going to play into PK's playstyle, their aggressiveness, especially with Noble's composure on a map as small as Exhibit. Great ban for PK. So Foundation, Harbor, Training Grounds. Great ban at the end for map number 3, the decision between Asylum and Training Grounds. PG is definitely one of Noble's better maps, and we've watched them make some crazy comebacks there in the past. Loving this series here. I think that PK, they have to take map number 1 on Foundation, and it gets scary for them on Harbor and Training Grounds as we go to distance.
You know, Pittsburgh Knights, though, I mean, Harbor, they're not a terrible team, actually, on that map. They have beat, you know, the likes of Fire and Ice in the past when it comes to E-Days on that map. But then again, it's Fire and Ice, who is historically very, very bad on Harbor. They even tweeted out. They know it. They know what their weak point is. See how it goes, man. Foundation's going to be a fun one. Pittsburgh Knights is a very decent Foundation team. I expect Noble to be the same. Let's talk about our predictions, though. And this is time to put ourselves out there once again. And I really hope we're right in this regard. We'll definitely find out. Look, I'm going with Noble. Okay, I think Noble is just, you know, they're undefeated for a reason. Pittsburgh Knights, they've been shaky. Did I want to go with Pittsburgh Knights? Absolutely. Did I want to go with Fire and Ice earlier when they played against Elevate? Absolutely. But the reality is, though, Pittsburgh Knights, I can't be behind them with how inconsistent they've been. It would be a poor choice on my part, and I would be going with them simply because of the lineage they have, because they're Pittsburgh Knights. So Noble is my pick. Blaze, who are you going with?
Man, yo, great pick, Taylor. You know, great assessments there. You know, I was thinking about this one. I'm like, you know, PK, man, these boys are some savages, and we know how good they are. But, you know, I think Noble, well, I know that Noble impressed me, okay, because I am picking Noble in a series. And I'm even more locked in kind of after seeing the map cycle. And here's why. You know, I think Noble was already a very good, composed defensive squad here. They had a play style that fit them well. But Reptilian has added another layer towards their offense, right? And we've been seeing that. And, you know, he already got over the biggest hump that he needed to in a pro league in week number 1. And that was taking down his old team. From this point on, it's just doing what he already did with VQ. It's a different roster, but it's 4v4, and it's still a damn good squad. And they proved that after beating VQ. So Reptilian's sitting comfortably there. You mentioned how PK they're a great Harbor squad, right? Like, I said PK has to win map number 1, which is Foundation. That's going to be the pick of Noble. If not, the map of Harbor is very simple, okay? It's going to be a lot of fights on Winch and Stern. Noble knows this. They're going to have secondaries at their disposal. They will be able to have those shot grenades and set traps for PK, and I think they will win on Harbor. I think it's a 2-0 for Noble.
All right, got to get chat. Think? Chat, let us know. What are you thinking, man? You're going with... You already know. They're going with Pittsburgh Knights. Now,
I didn't even need to give them too much time. We know why they went with PK.
Chat, there have been some salty people in chat once I start saying my predictions. They get mad when I don't go with Latin America. I get it. Look, you got to represent over there, but it was close. Channel points, 620,000 to 550,000 for Pittsburgh Knights. So by no means did Pittsburgh Knights dominate that. It was pretty close. Only 70K points separated the two. But again, it's one of those matchups that's just really hard to tell. You're going with the lineage and the history of Pittsburgh Knights. But, you know, you really do got to give Noble a fair shake because, again, they have been playing so very well. They're undefeated for a reason. We'll see if they do remain undefeated overall. But that big player, Monkyz, we talked about for Pittsburgh Knights, he gets dropped early on from the Lancer fire. He'll get picked back up, but it is going to be Noble who's going to strike first.
Yeah, Noble, they initiated with the initial down that Xysho got. That put an extra player up top and allowed Noble to get a 3v2 down low at B, which they capitalized with. Now they need to double back, wait for Xysho to come off respawn, win a fight at their home hill. On a flip in, PK, they are going to be staggered here a bit. Only 2 players on a home hill. The other 2 sitting very far back. Noble, they're going to bring the 3rd guy to this engagement as well, Taylor, because they see the angles in which PK has. Great shot there by Xysho. Reptile with the cleanup. They should have no issues whatsoever locking in this C-Hill.
Absolutely. But hey, B is going to be fought for. Player 1 goes in, but quickly. Oh, Sumuns gets some finishes there.
What?
Reptilian and Xysho. Well done from him. So Pittsburgh Knights look as if they're going to lose the home hill of Noble, but they gain it right back. Well done. Even though they lose that fight on B, PK still remains in the lead by about 30 or so points. And it's going to continue to grow. So Noble back to the drawing board. They're going to manage to get C, but it comes down to this fight. They got to stop Pittsburgh Knights from pursuing it on Bravo.
Yeah. And, you know, so far they got a good hold. Lava and Gearies have been working really well together, communicating to each other. The home hill is back in their favor. Player 7, that's Reptile. He has a big important play to make because when his team needs help, when they get outnumbered, he is the one that has to shift over, or he has to play his numbers elsewhere. And the push came in so fast from PK. Geary backs up with a right-hand advantage. Going to side roll for the revive on his teammate. Raver steps up. Geary delivers a blow that has to give him some respect. PK has to give Noble respect on pushing up this ramp. and they'll be able to survive with that down in the back. Gearies and Lava should have no problems against Raver in this position here. They're going to take their time with their fight. They lock in the B hill, both home hills locked in. This is a great round here for Noble. The defense is looking strong, Taylor.
It really is, and Reptilian picks up one, gets the second. Blaze, that's the cherry on top right there, man. Reptilian, he loses that fight, no worries at all. Noble still has a 2-1 hill, and they've had the win condition. But Reptilian, like I said, cherry on top, winning that fight. That ends it a bit earlier than they were expecting. 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Noble strike first. They're up 1-0.
Those are some plays that this Rebel team, not Rebels, this Noble squad was missing last year. And that's the level that Reptilian is going to bring to this squad. The core is there with the core 3 on the play style of the previous Noble, but Reptilian pulling out double kills like that, it just makes this team stronger because they know how to apply pressure, okay? When that shield is moving in towards the spine, to break through is even harder because they leave a layer of defense in every single lane.
All right, round number 2. Pittsburgh Knights, they went for that overextension early on. They fought for B, but it didn't work out because Gearies was there to shut them down. And Gearies is still going to be there once again, right? He's going to be playing that Bravo Hill. He's going to be in conjunction with player 8 of Lava. You got that veteran of Lava, man. Tough to get through. He's just so incredibly smart, mechanically sound at the game. Dezo's going to try and make a break for it. He's going to find a different angle, maybe push up steps, or it should be ramp. Xysho's going to be there to meet him. Taking down Dezo here would be huge. Oh, that's a great stun. I don't know who threw that. Was that Monkyz who threw that all the way over to help out Dezo?
I do believe it was.
Great stun.
Great stun indeed. Now, you see the plays down low. Sumuns stays alive. That quickness that he was able to get to that cover and crouch, not pursue the kill in that moment, kept him alive because he was definitely at 99% health. Well, he had 99% damage put on him, but ultimately in the end, those kills acquired helped lead PK to a trip cap domination there in that round, and that's a beautiful response to them. And it just shows PK speed, right? They get those initial kills in quick succession. They can quickly turn that into a trip cap domination, one that Noble can't even stop.
I mean, that's just kind of what Latin America does, right? I mean, you even look at Fire and Ice doing the same thing just earlier versus Elevate. They win the initial, let's go back to that district map, right? They win the initial and they're quickly going in for the domination, right? Pittsburgh Knights, they're not going to let their foot off the gas when they know they have a lead or an advantage. That's just not their play style. It never has been and it never will be. So well done to answer back, respond. And again, that stun from Monkyz. I know it's clinical, right? We see that a lot, but it just was beautiful to me. The great communication, Dezo breaking off from Bravo, challenging Xysho. And that's something he's going to have to keep in the back of his mind as well, right? Because Xysho's in the same spot, just on the opposite side of the map, and Dezo is also down low. So he might be doing the same thing. Up top on streets, of course, you're going to have Monkyz over there. So he could do the exact same thing here. And Noble's got to keep that in the back of their mind. Keep your head on a swivel because PK, they've got a lot of tricks in their bag.
Oh, man, they do got a lot of tricks in their bag indeed. This is Monkyz versus Reptile up top. Xysho versus Raver in the middle. Lava and Gearies versus Dezo and Sumuns down at the Pistons. This is pretty much man-on-man tie game at this moment. This is what I love about the home hills being automatically capped. We get to really see team strategy and see who wants to be assertive and who knows that they have the perfect play and can create a perfect play, which we see a lot that happens in Gears of War. Sometimes you have to create your opportunity, and it's something as subtle as getting a right-hand advantage on your opponent, beating them to a specific position, leaving your fight to go help your teammates out. Now, in this specific engagement, I'm asking myself, where does the initial start from? Now, I think the players up top, it could get into a 1v1 battle, but not Xysho, but Reptile has that Talon pistol, right? So he ain't doing much, all right? He's gonna let his teammates find an advantage down low. PK, they're usually the offensive squad. They're usually the ones that's trying to make some plays here, but I'm impressed by their composure here in this moment. They want Rebel to make the first move, but Rebel, man, they got the utility in hand to just, you know, kind of sit here towards the end.
Raver's going to be making a move now, pushing up to Xysho. Oh, look at him. Look at the little ricochet. Well done. I love the sneaky plays, locking down the angles. These guys know how to play Foundation, and that's a great break, right? They don't go head first on streets like we're seeing now with Reptilian. They just immediately go over there. Xysho's having his hands full, man. He's been stunned out twice. First, it was Monkyz, of course. Then it came through for another, PK member of Raver. I'm just so impressed with them to be able to isolate, get Xysho out of that positioning. He's got to go back to the drawing board there because it's just not working. Gearies down low, though, could be the savior. He's going to maintain B. So Noble, they'll stay in it. They're only down about 20 or so points, but PK's getting close to that 250 mark.
But we just talked about creating plays, right? And figuring out how to create a moment for your team, an advantage. And Raver put good use to his flash, man. Bouncing it off the wall, getting a stun, getting help from his teammates to be able to cut from his fight, take a quick 2v1 to possibly get his team a home hill setup. It was a great effort, but in the end, Lava and Gearies were too composed down low at B. Now Noble sitting here in a winning position. We're about to get a lead change, but Reptile getting pinched from multiple different lanes, just trying to put out some damage before he dies. Doesn't put out enough, and his teammates choose to flank the other home hill. So a big rotation here on this map.
Huge rotation. Sumuns trying to pick up some eliminations. Oh, from the flank. Raver's also going to get it as well. Sumuns picks him off. Isn't enough time, though. PK, I don't think they're going to have the win condition here. Noble's still going to have it with one hill, but now you got player 2 who's going to be on B. Now it's getting scary. Noble, you got to push Monkyz off this hill. You got to take one hill to your name, and you have to do it now. You're wasting too much time. Charlie's going to be locked in place, and there it is. Pittsburgh Knights, they take the victory. They lead 2-1.
Man, beautiful round for PK. Beautiful round. Once they was able to get the fight started, they did a good job at setting the pace, rotating between the B hill and the home hill of Noble and understanding where their advantage was. And that's PK, you know, playing fast, playing aggressive, playing to their strengths right there. And that was something that Noble couldn't keep up with. They had to set up, and I will say too that Gearies is being a fantastic anchor here for Noble. He's playing at the top of the ramps between Welding and Fountain, but when he doesn't have a head count there, he has to cover for Lava down low, but he's also getting across towards his home hill. So Noble was kind of letting PK get aggressive on those home hills because they know that they have the cross from Geary, so they're almost inviting PK in some instances here. This round for Noble, Reptile's gonna have that retro lancer, so that's just gonna fortify the home hill that much more.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. Maybe a bit of a misinput for Gearies, but he went straight into Dezo. He was already weak, mind you. Xysho has been having his hands full, man. He is not having any luck whatsoever, and I think this is going to be the third time. Yes, it is. Finished off, finito, done. Xysho's going to have to change it up, man. I'm telling you. He's just really not having a good time on that Lancer spot through mid. Raver finding a different angle here on Gearies, and it doesn't matter how good you are, right? That 1v2, when you have Raver and you have Sumuns who's just going to be spacing it out, it's just going to be so hard to take over. And PK now, they're going to be leading, I believe, 3-1. Yes, they will be. Well done. PK's looking unstoppable. We might be wrong again, Blaze.
Yeah, no, we might be wrong indeed. You know, this is the map pick here of Noble. They feel comfortable. Now, you talked about, you know, Xysho getting pressured here by Raver towards center map. Well, how the hell can you stop that? What kind of adjustment do you want to run off the initial to be able to just help Xysho out a bit? Maybe Gearies with his front spawn, he chooses to go down mid-map and he takes control of open. Now, when he takes control of open, from that moment on, he's still playing with Lava down low on Fountains, but he's going to have to make big decisions. Does he put pressure on Fountains, take a 2v2 from a different angle, or does he want to go up towards top ramp? Now, as we see here, that the fight is going to change up a little bit because it's towards the second half, and we'll see if that will be enough to help Noble get into a better flow here for this map.
Well, more than anything, it takes Xysho off that spot. Right now, it's fresh for him. He's going to be able to battle Statue with his teammate of Reptilian, so it does change things up a bit. PK's not going to be prioritizing that mid-fight as much as we've seen just earlier. Monkyz has the HAMMERBURST, but he has no one to shoot it at. Maybe Gearies will pop some shots at him, but there's really no benefit in doing so. And we're once again at a standstill. PK, though, consistently has been the first one to make the first move, and I want to see Noble maybe be that first one to engage in a fight. Right now, Dezo is kind of the only one to battle that statue position. Player 3 can rotate over, but I feel like Noble has a lot of value right now with the manpower to get onto E, but they're rotating around. They're paranoid. They don't want PK to push up mid. That's exactly what they're doing, and they rotated off, and now PK has the numbers in mid and on statue.
PK is doing such a fantastic job at rotating, putting pressure on other portions of the map, cutting back, catching Noble off guard. Big revive here. All members of PK in the area. They clean up both kills. And now it is going to be a 2v1 on top of the home hill. Lava left by himself, but PK knows that that's not a high percentage fight. We won't be able to get together. So let's just slow down and hold the 2 hill setup. You know, honestly, I feel like Noble's playing a little scared here in this series a bit. They're waiting for PK to make all the moves, but PK, man, they're faking some lanes here. they're counting in numbers, and they're playing Noble like a fiddle at this point.
They really are, and it's disheartening to see that. But great for Pittsburgh Knights, though. Again, credit to them. They are playing very well. Their teamwork is on point. They're not overcommitting. Like you said, they're faking out some lanes. That's exactly what they did to put themselves in a position in this round to have the lead, right? They ended up faking. Maybe they were going to go through mid, maybe push through. Noble ends up rotating back, and then, of course, now you have PK all over Statue. Noble's got some learning curves. Geary's going to try everything he can to open this lane up. He does. So Delta's going to be into the hands of Noble. Pittsburgh Knights a player 3. There's Monkyz, and he's kind of playing. He really is playing a secret man role. He's going to come up, and there's Xysho. Well done from Monkyz. He's smart.
And now he's going to get the bow talk. He's going to get help from another teammate. Player 1 is going to shift over, and this is going to be a 2v2 fight on top of their opponent's home hill. Now Noble's going to try to take this one very quickly before help comes. But, you know, you saw them kind of split out into 2 separate 1v1s, and they kind of had to with Dezonide having that hammer burst in hand. Somebody had to distract them. But in the end, Taylor, you know, you look at the score here. Noble, they're going to lose this round as well. PK is going to go up 4-1 in this series. Now, something else that Noble has going for him here in the second half, we kind of talked about 2 things. One, we talked about Reptile's slaying power and how good he is, you know, with fighting, you know, 1v2s and being able to slay out, and how that adds another layer towards Noble's offense, right? But he was playing a 1v1 position there to kick off the round towards top tables. And based off of how slow these rounds are starting, I feel like he needs to be in that 2v2 fight or that 3v3 fight, but he needs a teammate next to him so he can initiate some things. Now in the second half, he's playing Statue. He's going to have the help of Xysho on that side of the map. So both of those players need to do a good job of applying pressure towards Statue. Because if Noble could win the first team fight, they can set themselves up for success and get into positions in which they want to close out these rounds. But PK, man, they're too good off the start right now.
Well, like you said, we have the sword and the shield, right? Right now, Pittsburgh Knights is utilizing that sword, and Noble isn't utilizing the shield whatsoever. And in order to utilize the shield, you first have to bring out the sword, right? And get to that point where you can bring out the shield. And Noble, again, is just not coming out of the gate swinging. That's all Pittsburgh Knights. And Noble, by the time they do set up, they're defending... you know what, 2-1 hill cap for Pittsburgh Knights is not going to work out. Noble's got to step it up here. Overextension in place. PK is going to lock in the neutral, and they're now going to be able to fight for F. It's going to be tough for Noble to hold in the home hill of Pittsburgh Knights, but I'm curious if this does end up in being a 3v3 fight, which I presume it's going to be. You know, who's going to rotate it over to E? We'll find out. Fight's underway. PK getting that chip damage. Raver's going to fall. Still, Lancer Fire peppering them up. They go into the blender. Raver is going to break through, but it's going to be finished off from Gearies. That's 2 down now. Now you got one player who's going to be on E. That's going to be Dezo. And the other player, Monkyz, he's going to rotate around to help this fight on Statue. Last thing Pittsburgh Knights want is a domination attempt.
But they're about to... an attempt is coming. But it may not be fast enough to come through. That was a huge kill for Lava because he's getting flanked. He will be able to clean up Dezonide, but that's what I was talking about, right? If Noble doesn't complete that push fast enough, help is coming there for Dezo.
Nope.
Now, it's currently going to be man-on-man here on the map, 3v3. E-Hill still in favor of the Pittsburgh Knights. Now, if Noble wanted to, you know, put a leg in that hill and force PK to come down and fight, they could, but instead, they take some high percentage fights down low. Don't risk it too much. Sumuns will get revived here. Now, can Xysho hold off these members of PK? He needs to double back and kind of fortify his home hill, keep the lead here for his team, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, park that bus, right? At this point, Swarm wins. 50 seconds is a long time, but this is the reality. Pittsburgh Knights knows they don't have the win condition, and they have to get over and get that decap. It's going to be the only opportunity they have, right? So Noble's going to allow them to push through, and if they can get a counter wipe here, they can easily break off, get over to E, and secure their victory. Great connection, though, from Raver onto Reptilian with the instant, but Xysho is there for the cleanup onto Raver. Dezo is also going to fall, too, and again, now he's going to break off the E. And now, like I said, at this point in time, PK knew they needed to get onto that home hill of Noble because they overcommitted, because they were forced to. They had to get desperate, right? Noble was able to counter that, send a player over for added insurance on the E, and they're going to secure this round and bring it 4-2. Well played.
Well played indeed, but you know, you see how strong Noble is when they can get those early fights, win them, get set up, and force PK to have to play in their hand. Noble's great with those rotations, man. They know when they need to shift their numbers to, you know, fight a man-on-man fight. They know when they have the proper timing to go take a 2v1 elsewhere just to keep that 2-to-1 hill set up and keep racking up points. As the round goes on, after they win that initial, all that pressure is on their opponent. And, you know, they find the most success there in those scenarios. Now, Retro Lancers will get upgraded on both home hills. That's going to make that home hill setup a little bit more enticing here to both these squads, at least, because if you can control 2 retros on this map, that's nice. But on the flip end, man, those 2 incendiary grenades can break any Retro Lancer setup as well if placed properly. So we'll see what both these teams do with their utility.
Now, I don't want to get carried away here, Blaze, but I do have to point out that Pittsburgh Knights historically are usually on the edge of victory only to throw it away, okay? And that's something that they have been doing consistently throughout their series, and that's why they probably don't have the record that they are wanting. Now, granted, I'm getting carried away again. The reason why is because it's 4-2. PK is still dominating this match. Reptilian.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. What a beautiful angle.
I can't believe, but he doesn't connect on his instant. There's nowhere he can go. Monkyz knows this. They're going to Lancer him out.
He doesn't need to go nowhere.
Oh, that's tough.
Oh, but they got the down in the back on Xysho. That was something that I did not see on the kill feed. Reptile did a good job staying alive, holding his left hand, but he just did not have no help there off the back. Now, luckily for him, his teammates, they have the D-Hill locked in and they got it capped up with Lava having his Retro Lancer also. PK like, man, forget our home hill. We don't need it. I don't like that house. Okay, let's go find a new base of operations and they're going to try to flip this map.
All right. Well, they got to push it eventually, you'd think.
Double
maybe.
retros. No, that's 3 retros, by the way. 3 retros on his home hill setup for Noble.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You never see that. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess it is time to find a new home then, Blaze. They're going to do it. They're going in for F. Smokes are out. That's going to help a little bit. Raver's trying to get that early penetration. He's going to fall. So is Monkyz. Great hold. And it comes to show you, man, look, the retros, they were huge in that situation. Or at least right now, that Lancer fire was huge over on F. And this is Noble's ability now to hone in onto E. 6 is going to be leading the charge. It's going to be Xysho. He'll hold back. Noble at this point, they're going to do what they did last round, Blaze. They've got a considerable lead. They're just going to hold on, play defense, and again, bring out that shield now. And that's going to be a great inhibitor, if you will, for Pittsburgh Knights' sword, right? It's just going to be hard for them to push up, but they're going to try. They have to try.
Yeah, no, they most definitely have to try, but this is Noble at full power, folks, okay? PK trying their best to get through, staying close to each other, trying to be there for the revives, but Noble filling in the gaps, and PK keeps 3 players alive.
No way.
1v1 on a home hill for the win. Retro's being picked up. Xysho, now it's time for you to stay alive in this moment where your team needs you the most. He gets one, gets out some initial damage. PK knew they had to make a perfect play.
That's
but
huge.
Xysho stays alive. He holds the line.
Wow, Xysho, well done with that retro. And look, that retro hits hard. Everybody's talking about, oh, it's, you know, and it is more balanced than it once was, but man, it still hits hard, and you cannot push that.
Especially when you got 3.
Oh, yeah, lights out. I mean, come on, how many times do you see, you know, a team have 3 retros in Pro League? E-Days, or just even you go to our Challenger Series, you don't see it hardly at all.
Nah, you don't. Now, going into this next round, I think PK at least upgrades their retro into a shot grenade. You know, that's usually the next placement here in these moments, unless a team wants to put something down center line. Now, this is also where the boys of Noble can put something down center line if they want to, but they go for the comeback block. You know how we talked about it, right? You want to make that comeback, you use that block in round number 8. PK, do they want to block both instands, or do they want to keep one on the map? They choose to disable their opponent's retro instead. They says, hey, we'll rather have 1 retro on the map at worst case scenario, but we need to use our block. I think that's a great move. Put some balance here. Not allow Noble to get that same setup that they did the previous round.
Well, again, with Noble, if they're able to lock in the 2-to-1 hill cap, they've been kind of prioritizing the overextension. They have the retro. It's just so hard for PK to push that through. 3, of course, you're not pushing through that, but let alone 1, right? It allows Xysho or anybody else who has that retro to put up a key fight, which is very difficult to push through. So we'll see how it works out. They will have the instant down low, so that's going to be beneficial. Reptilian better put that to good use. But at this point in time, Noble's not pushing up. They're taking their time, seeing what Pittsburgh Knights are all about. Now, this is something that bit them in the butt in previous rounds. So Noble, they're going to have to push up eventually and take that first strike.
Noble's trying to get out that first down or initial damage for Reptile to be able to get a good clean incendiary nade over the top. Comes up a bit short. Raver can feel the heat off the back of his neck, but he's not scared of no flames, folks. He just runs right through it, puts himself back in a position to cover this mid lane on the map. But Reptile going down. PK putting most of their attention here towards Statue. Xysho is in a difficult spot. Gearies has to focus on the flank. He gets taken out. Xysho needs to do his best to stay alive here in this moment, but
don't push up.
He's getting trapped.
I didn't need to push up in that situation. He could have stayed put. Even honestly, I would
he
have been
couldn't
happy.
have. Player one was flanking.
Well, he could have gone down and challenged player one. I don't know. He put himself right in the Lancer, but it is what it is. Reptilian fighting for his life. He's going to lose. Now, this is where Pittsburgh Knights get scary. Again, Noble, they're strongest when they're able to set up, but now they are trying to fight against the Pittsburgh Knights as they continually push in, and the vice grip is starting to tighten down. Xysho falls. That hurts. Player 8, last up in the hill. Player 7's coming off respawn, but you got Pittsburgh Knights all around this home hill.
Yeah, they're all around it, man. They found a winning condition here in this round. Sumuns takes his time, closing in his lane. Big plays are towards the top lanes with Raver and Monkyz, and in the end, man, PK comes out on top.
You know what? I'm happy for that, to be honest with you. Again, we have seen Pittsburgh Knights time in and time out be so close to victory, yet so far away as they lose the final round, or they have a team come back on them. So well done for Pittsburgh Knights. They knew their advantage, which to push hard, take that fight to Noble, and not allow them to set up. They had a good gauge on them. After all, Noble, Pittsburgh Knights, Blaze, they've been facing off against each other in some form or another, you know, whether it be 5v5 or, you know, maybe a new addition here, a new addition there. But the point is, Noble and Pittsburgh Knights, they have history, and Noble has always found a way to battle against this PK roster. So it's nice to see PK trying to fight back, or fighting back, I should say. They're not trying. They win map number 1. That's a big W.
A big W indeed for PK, man. That was a great job for them. It's just they had to play it a little bit slower than normal, because that's not a map like District and Harbor and even Exhibit, where you can start off a big team fight in these lower lanes, right? So PK had to figure out, how the hell do we get around these boys' setup? Where do we make the where do we start our initial fight? Now, Raver did a good job in his lane, making some big plays. Sumuns did a good job in his lane with Dezo as well. But ultimately, when PK got that first blood and they was able to set the pace of the map, they were able to close it out on Noble. So good job to them. Noble picked it up there towards the end, but it was a little bit too late. And Xysho had a slow performance to start on this map.
Yes. He's
going to have to get off to a better start at map number 2. Now, as we head on to a Harbor, most of the fights, as we know, are going to be between Winch and Stern. We're going to have some secondaries on that side of the map as well. Noble, they can kind of dive deep into their bag of strategies. They could choose to play defensive off the start, offensively, put most of their numbers towards Winch or Stern. When shot grenades and retro lancers get built up, they should get stronger. And on the flip end, I think PK, man, after winning this first map, they say, we got a little leeway. You know, let's let the Lions out, okay? Take them off the leash. So let's get out there and come out with a great start, slay out our opponent. So the sword is just going to get sharper here, folks, all right? But will the shield get stronger?
Well, the shield's only as strong as if they have a 2-to-1 hill advantage, right? I mean, the shield isn't good if you only have 1 hill to your name and the other team has 2, right? So eventually you do have to pull out that sword. So it has to get sharper as well, in conjunction with the shield getting stronger. You know, the best play here, honestly, if I'm the boys of Noble, I really don't want to go head-to-head with PK at this point, because they're winning their fights. They're doing actually a great job. Aside from, like, Xysho is great when he has the retro, when he's at a distance, like you said, sluggish off the first start. Put him in a situation where he needs to clutch up. Clearly, he's not doing it, okay? He did it that one round, I think, with the retro, but for the most part, he was falling behind, especially in the first half. Gearies, he's doing his thing. You know, I really have no qualms with Gearies whatsoever. But across the board for Pittsburgh Knights, they're winning their engagements. So now I'm going into Harbor. You mentioned sometimes you can play offense off the start, and or defense, I should say, off the start, and actually works out for you. And I think that's the best play. Give Pittsburgh Knights enough rope to hang themselves. Specifically, back up, allow them, if they want to push Winch, let them push Winch, lancer them down, get a couple members down, and then go in for the cleanup instead of just going in for the Nasher battle. I think that's where Noble is the weakest, to be honest, in this matchup. So for them, they're going to need to get creative, as you said, reach into their bag of tricks and find a way to stop this aggression from Pittsburgh Knights, because their sword is getting sharper and sharper round in and round out. But there is the reality that Pittsburgh Knights takes this 2-0.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Noble, they're gonna have to stick towards their right hand advantage whenever they have it between Winch and Stern. You know, kind of stick to that, play those angles, put out damage on their opponent, because you know PK, I think most of their aggression is gonna be coming down low towards the Winch side of the map. Also, something else, man. I want to see Lava's name a little bit more in a kill feed for Noble. I think he needs to really slay out, you know, show us that level that we saw towards the back end of the last pro season.
Gearies will drop off. That's harsh because, you know, he has that 3.0, 3+ KDA, right? So you expect him off the start to be picking up those big eliminations, but nobody from Noble is able to stand up. Lava will also fall. Gearies is coming up the respawn, but now it's going to be a tough 1v2 for him to win here against Monkyz and Raver. They're going to go ahead and back up, give him space. Again, Gearies can't push that. He knows it, but then again, if he doesn't push it, he's going to get taken down. Xysho falls the other as well. That's GG. Wrap it up. Ship it off FedEx overnight. It's over with. PK will take round number 1 in a convincing style, 46 seconds.
Ooh-wee. Man, what a big round there for PK to kick it off. 2 kills in quick succession. Hell, they pretty much took all 3 members of Noble, who was playing Witch and Stern, out right away. And from that moment on, they went to go Lance Route Lava, and they got the trip cap domination. Now, you know, we're not as good as these PK players, but if you want to be as close as good as them folks, you need to at least be rocking their weapon skin. If you do that, maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to hit shots like these boys.
Or have a 3.0 KDA like Monkyz. Hey, look. Hey, the possibilities are through the roof. You start rocking those weapon skins. Man, Raver, good start. Xysho, this is heartbreaking. Noble is falling apart. PK is looking so good. And it's almost, I'm getting flashbacks, PTSD, man, from FNI versus Elevate, where FNI was looking so good. Reptilian, turn it around for me.
Man, he's doing his best, but Raver is just too strong because he knows that this is a map in which he can shine. You know, he is such a selfless player, but he gets to play that winch, be aggressive, and set the tone here for these fights. And PK is in a beautiful setup. Their next goal is to get this B hill captured, and with Dezo holding down a winch, they can do just that. Lava won't be able to get any angles. Plus, he doesn't have any help just yet. So Xysho will be here, and this needs to be a quick counter to the last play PK made cap of the B hill, and Xysho's gonna move up right now. He has the opportunity, but still no one has been able to distract Dezo on top winch, and he's getting kills. And that's actually Raver. I apologize. Raver is the one turning up on the winch once again, and he's gonna give his team a man advantage, and this is gonna force back Lava, Xysho, and Gearies.
Noble is sprinting back. They are sprinting back to their home mill because PK has that pressure. Xysho, he's going to try and stay up, but it's going to be tough. Now you're pushing into a potential another domination. I know you can't hear it, but it is happening, and that's 2-0. Ooh, hey, man, Pittsburgh Knights. Okay, all right. That's an answer. That's an answer right there. You guys are looking good.
Yeah, PK, man, in this map, it's even better.
It's even better.
we're gonna finally get some secondary weapons placed up top. Both squads, you know, chose to actually, well, and we only had 1 weapon placement. So anywho, but both talks up top. Now we're gonna get these Talons down, and this is where Talons, Retro, shot grenades start to get built up top towards Stern. If these squads want to put some power weapons down, and so be it. But I didn't think. I was, you know, and I was just about to, you know, say out of my mouth that I don't know if Noble's going to put this down right away, but if they do, they have to be scared that if PK gets this, it's a wrap, right?
Going right to Monkyz.
But Noble, they have something to fight for. They have a focal point on the map. Let's see if that changes the pace of this fight, because Raver ain't slowing down.
Let me tell you, I don't think it does, brother. I think it makes Pittsburgh Knights that much stronger. As you said, Raver not slowing down. I cannot believe he is still up full red. Good bait and switch, though, with his teammate just to the side. And again, I think that long shot only makes the boys on PK stronger. I knew Monkyz is going to pick up that long shot. Xysho, where is he going to go? You know, I feel bad for the guy. I really do, man. He's just getting bullied, taken down. Great start from Pittsburgh Knights once again. It's just like the previous 2 rounds. Nothing has changed other than a long shot. You
can't be slowing that revive there. You know, if your teammate's leading a charge, you got to know that he's going to be taking some damage. And you have to be close enough for that revive in those situations, because they did good fighting and staying alive as long as they did. But now this is what we're talking about. PK gets the power weapon. They get set up. Lava doesn't get the decap like he wanted to. He touched the hill for a second, but it just was not enough.
Not enough indeed. Sumuns picking up that long shot. Monkyz handed it to the side. And I guess that makes sense with 3-0 KD, right? You want that player going up and dominating. A bit of a mark coming through. That is going to be Monkyz taking... Yeah, exactly, right? Hand off that long shot. Let Monkyz go do his thing. He's just... is a Rottweiler, man. Sick him on him, and he's going to take them out. Lava, though, picks up one. Is it going to be enough, though? No, it will not be. Same old song and dance. Nothing has changed here. Noble, try to stay alive. Get a touch if they can. PK, though, trying to take them out. Gearies will take down Monkyz. Gearies still up. He's gone. Raver standing up. Dez is going to try and keep that last one at bay. That Xysho, he's got to get a touch. A bit too slow. PK leads 3-0. Now, we've already seen the long shot placed down, right? That was kind of your get out of jail free card, or at least change up the fight card. You almost got to place something down low now, like a torque bow, to kind of break up the fight even more.
Yeah, but even if you put something down low at B, it still won't change the fight too much, because the strongest strategy on this map is to run 3 guys up top between Winch and Stern. If your opponent says, you know what, we put a power weapon down low, let's split off into a 2-2, the guy on Winch is going to shoot for free throughout the entirety of that time. And even if he does not shoot for free, he's probably fighting a 2v1 with numbers, having with his team. They're going to get 2 kills, and eventually they will kill you down low at the docks. Maybe in the second half, it could be a more viable strategy to mix it up. But at this point, Noble just needs to hit these shots, okay? Because they need to win these initials. That's their win condition.
PK taking their time, kind of assessing what's right before them. That's Noble pressing up hard. Monkyz falls. It's looking good for Noble. Sumuns is there for the cleanup onto 1. He's going to push up now, try to get this finish on. Oh my gosh, Sumuns do it to him. He's going in for Lava. That's going to be one shot. He's one shot. Sumuns will fall, but for a little bit, he was looking like Superman. Xysho's going to pick up that long shot, and man, ooh, puts it to use right there onto Dezo. Looked like slow motion for a second, but that's just a quick reactions from Xysho. Well done. Okay, so Noble's got a good start. Took a little bit to get here. Now they can bring out the shield, Blaze. Now they can finally bring out the shield.
And let's see how much stronger they're going to get. But on the flip end, man, PK, they've been picking up momentum. That short is sharp as... I don't know, but it's very sharp, all right? And I don't care what defense Noble has in this moment. PK just seems too strong in this scenario. But let's see how well Noble can fortify here, because they're going to have to start out thinking their opponent out slaying them, and that's a beautiful shot there from Xysho.
Yeah, well done. That's going to be the second player he takes down with that long shot. See if he can keep that energy up. Dezo's up top, maybe pushing in onto Lava, but he's keeping his head low, right? He doesn't want it to get popped off. Xysho's there. He's ready. Aim down sights. And you can really see the difference, right? When Noble gets set up, Pittsburgh Knights is seriously struggling to push back against them. And that shows that Noble, if they can just get a solid initial, solid start, they could be okay. It's almost the same thing with Elevate. If they could extend the round to mid or late game, they would have had a better chance versus F&I. But PK, live by the sword, die by the sword. And at this point in time, I think they're going to lose this round. PK's, what's going to happen, you already know, Blaze. PK is going to just save up time, and they're going to push in a desperation push last second, and they might get it, but it's going to be desperate all the way, and here it is. No, never mind.
The last shot in a snipe, Xysho puts it to good use, man. Good connection there, but in the final moments of this game, that was a win condition for his team, because that got them the man advantage. They knew that they can press forward, get some more heals. They're going to have to get towards their opponent's home hill as well as defend theirs. With 10 seconds left on the clock, and Gearies taking out Raver. Gonna have Noble get their first round on the board, and that was something that they needed, man. And you know, looking back on this round, it started with them getting that first snipe and winning that initial up top. Now, as we enter the second half, what's going to work out for them is that neutral hill is going to be there in that position, that spot, right? So I will say this, that they cannot back up as far as they did last time and really hold those snipers in some of these longer lanes, like from Winch to the home hill and from Stern all the way down to that home hill as well. Those are long lanes that you can get 2 snipes off before your opponent can make it to their destination. But here in the second half, your opponent just needs to get up to top Stern and get to Winch. So a nice smoke, a nice flash, a few bounces, they can close that distance a lot easier than they could have in the first half.
So Noble's going to go down to Winch. They're going to challenge this. Last time they didn't. They kind of fought up top. They've been losing this fight down low, and they might lose it again. Raver picks up one, goes in for the second. He's gone. Now it's going to be left up to Sumuns to try and clutch this up in this moment. Sumuns actually picks up Xysho, picks up the second. That cannot happen. Sumuns is playing out of his mind, and that is 4 down. It's practically over with. PK is going to be at 4-1. There's no way player 1 gets this break. It's Gearies. Oh, but that missed snipe. I still don't think it's going to be enough. There's the second. That's a great shot. It's over.
Yeah, nobody's getting to that hill on time. PK at series point. And damn, the chat looking smart right now. I must say so.
Smart, bro. F and I
doubted you guys.
F and I first, and then PK, and I am so mad. I am so livid that I did not pick these guys, because I'm telling you, man, I wanted to. I looked at your guys' predictions, and I said, man, I don't want to take too many risks.
You know, I pulled a PR this week and was picking with my heart, man. You know, I was like, and they got this. You know, Elevate's looking great. Noble's looking solid in the first 2 weeks. It's not even your heart. It's
not even your heart. You're picking with your brain at that point, because of course going into today, true. You know, going into today, we were looking at the strongest teams at least record wise. Weird stuff, man. Blaze, I don't know. This might be over with very shortly. We're looking at much the same scoreline of Foundation before Noble started turning up, only to lose 5-3. But Pittsburgh Knights have a feeling it's going to hold on here. Shocks are down. Nobody's taken down from that as of yet. Reptilian will take down Raver. Dezo's also going to fall as well. Sumuns now it's kind of the thorn in their side, right? He's the one who's kind of been rocking this winch fight. That's one down. That's the second. And he is doing it again. Oh, missed shots. He doesn't do it. But he still took down 2 players, Blaze. The Monkyz wins the fight up top. So it's a W in PK's book.
It's definitely a big W in PK's book, but you just see how Sumuns is able to take 2 to the grave. Very impressive there. Keeps his team with an advantage, and now Raver's back towards his winch, and he's putting the pressure here on Noble, slowly pushing him out of his power position, trying to force him towards top stern, force him into the crosshairs of Monkyz. And Noble, they cannot fight their way through this one. It is just different levels here to the savageness in these fights, man.
Savage.
And PK is the most vicious here.
Yeah, I've been talking about levels, man. Every time I cast now, Blaze, I bring you up and I talk about different levels, okay? Because it really is. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, Pittsburgh Knights looking to lock this in. Sumuns again being that nuisance. He knows, look, my life may be short here, but I'm taking one of you guys down. You better believe that. He'll take down Xysho. And Dez is going to be there from the flank. Now, he's going to have a wall of members in front of him, but that pressure is it's just literally unreal, and they get through with it. Wrap it up. It is done with player 3. You can't get a touch. Pittsburgh
Somebody sound
Knights
a horn.
2-0. And you better sound that horn, because it is over with. Chat, you're 5-head.
Where the hell are you guys?
And that's a 5-1 victory there for PK. Complete dominance, man. You know, I feel like a fool for ever underestimating them in this series, but hey, I felt like I had great basis on why I would choose Noble over them, but
yeah,
in the end, man, it just shows that PK is at a different level, folks. Okay, this is the same 4-man squad that we saw last year, the core 4 from the team last year, and they have not dropped a beat here, folks. PK, they come out victorious.
Sad boy Hugo saying Taylor is big sad. I'm not gonna lie, I really am. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't.
Chat passed us all the predictions.
Hey, I was leading the charge. I was talking the smack, man, and now you guys are 2 above me. If I'm not, no, maybe just one above me. Man, it's just not going the way I thought it would today. I mean, I came in with so much confidence, and I just feel defeated. It is what it is, though. The better team's gonna win at the end of the day. Whatever, you take your pick. Now, that side station matchup, now just switch gears just a little bit, is actually going very, very well. Remedy ends up taking map number 1 5-1 over E United. So I think we're going to get a chance to take a peek over at that side station match. And Remedy is a team that we discussed in that video that you guys seen during the short break, or the 10-minute break we had transitioning from series to series, where I said Remedy is looking like one of the strongest up-and-coming teams. And I think they're going to prove that if they do beat E United. That would be a massive victory. But just to kind of hone in again on this matchup, man, honestly, Noble, their sword was a bit dull, wasn't it? They needed the sword in order to bring out the shield.
Whatsoever.
They had none. Absolutely none.
They had no offense off the initial. even when they were in their defensive setups and they let their Lancers, Retros, HAMMERBURST, their utility do all the work, when the shotties came out, they just still had to hold the line. PK was too quick. They were too vicious, too ferocious here in this battle. And in the end, man, Noble, they gave it their best effort. But, you know, I think that after playing PK, maybe they switch up some positions here.
Maybe. That's very well said. You know, maybe, you know, because this is the thing. Xysho was getting ran through on that first map. You know, I don't think Lava was getting as much value as he should have been getting, especially being the duo alongside that of Gearies. Again, Gearies played well. I think he held his own. Was he the shining star for the roster, you know, on Harbor? No, I think everybody just got ran through. They weren't winning their fights whatsoever. You said it at one point.
It was a team L.
The win condition for Noble was just to simply win their fights, and they didn't. So they got to come back a little bit stronger. It's the first time me seeing a Noble at least, and I got to say I'm a little bit disappointed. But hey, that's only one map, that's only one series. Still a lot more season to be played out. Still a lot more split 2, I should say, to be played out. But it is what it is. Well done from PK. Well done, chat. You win once again. You win once again.